Still so much speculation around Spurs and possible transfer dealings before the end of the window. Floyd Hasslebaink, from what we saw of Berbatov in that game, is he someone that you think will be staying at Spurs? What did his body language tell you?
My personal feelings think that he's going to Man United.
Oh, Jimmy.
On the evidence of that 90 minutes?
No. I think...
You were screaming it for 45 minutes. He's gone, he's gone.
With all due respect to Tottenham, as big as a club that Tottenham is, when Man United come knocking on the door, you have to go.
Well, let's talk about the names, Alan, that have been thrown into the hat. Two Russian players that certainly caught the eye at Euro 2008. Andrei Arshavin, I know you've seen playing with Zenit St. Petersburg. Could he be the kind of player that would work for them?
Wonderful player. Plays a little bit further forward than what Modric does. Very exciting, very direct.
Could he replace Berbatov then?
No, I don't think so.
He's not a Berbatov.
He's not Berbatov. He's not that kind of player. He's a good player. Again, they're talking about big bucks for him. Maybe Pavlyuchenko, who's another one I think we might be able to see a little bit of, who's a little bit more of a centre forward as such, big and powerful. But still not really Berbatov.
But he is more similar to Darren Bent.
Yeah.
On the last pass, wanting to score. Berbatov is more a player, ball in the feet, doing a nice thing.
If I was pushed, Jimmy, to take a choice between Arshavin and Pavlyuchenko, knowing the way Tottenham are with Darren Bent in that kind of form, I'd have Pavlyuchenko. Big guy, little guy, he'd be a good foil for him, and maybe Darren can play that little bit deeper along with Modric and sitting now. Of course, you've got Bentley on the right-hand side, etc., etc.
But if they lost Dimitov Berbatov as well, remember Jermaine Defoe sold last year, Robbie Keane's gone. That's 60 goals from their team last year that will have gone. Now, presuming they replace Berbatov with somebody else, would you think at this stage, be stronger than they were 12 months ago, or weaker?
It depends who you get. I definitely think if the two are going, you're weaker, because they were a pair.
Absolutely.
They performed together, and they loved playing together, and that is difficult to get. And the team was happy to play for them because they knew they're gonna come up with something brilliant. It's just a matter of time, and that is gonna be difficult to replace.
They had a shocking start to last season as well. 12 games in, this is the top four and the bottom four. Spurs didn't actually get into the top half of the table. They finished 11th in the end. But how costly was that start, Alan?
Yeah, well, inevitably they don't get to the top 10. I mean, obviously they won the cup, which was fantastic. And it looked as though for a lot of the time that all their energies was really put into that competition, and afterwards the league really didn't matter. But certainly you cannot start like that. You simply cannot start like that and think you're going to break into the top six. Just simply not possible, even with the likes of Berbatov in your team. And this is what we've got, an away game at Middlesbrough, and that's not going to be easy, Jimmy.
It's always difficult going to Borough and getting a result there. In the last, I think, 3 years, Tottenham has had the best draw over there, and it's always difficult. Sunderland, it's a little bit easier.
3 Spurs players in their team as well.
It's a little bit easier, I think.
Chelsea's the one that stands out, though, isn't it? An early test for them.
No, it's not. It's the Villa that stands out.
You know, for 100% sure Chelsea, they're going to lose.
Well, you would say that on their record against the teams that finished in the top four last season. This is it. 8 games against Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea and Manchester United. Not a single victory, 5 defeats. In fact, the last 3 seasons, just 1 win. That came against Chelsea in 24 attempts.
But that was at home.
Yeah, if they have any ambition to break into the top 4, to make that next step, do they have to start winning those games?
They have to keep Berbatov.
But do they have to start, when we're talking about playing against the top 4?
Of course they do. I think that's one of the reasons when they've spent the likes of money on Modric, on Bentley, and keeping other players round about them and trying to strengthen in particular areas where defensively they've been quite good, Spurs. They have, really. I mean, Ledley King's
61 goals they conceded last season.
Ledley King's a big blow for them. It really was. I think he's a terrific player and strolled through the game, but he's got a problem with his knee. And I think they're looking at that other end to be really, really creative if they think they're, OK, you've given me a stat there, I'm saying they were OK, but only OK. But if you want to start beating the big guns, then you've got to be much more secure at the back, obviously.
I definitely think that they're still going to go for a centre half.
Yeah.
because Leslie King, he's not going to be able
well,
to play.
They've got a new goalkeeper in as well, Jimmy, so
Well,
they obviously weren't happy with that position either.
He looked very...
Octopusy.
Yeah, octopusy. He looked very secure, confident. So that might be a good buy, but I definitely think that they're still going to buy a centre half.
As a Celtic man, Alan, having seen that tonight with the season 9 days away, would you be more or less optimistic?
A good quality football team, Spurs and Celtic. I'm not going, you're laughing at that. I don't think Gordon will be happy with possession. I said that the possession they'd struggle to keep possession off of Tottenham. They didn't really keep the ball that well. They did better in the second half, but still with chances created, that's what Gordon's not going to be happy about.
You didn't fancy them, Jimmy?
He will have to be very creative with the 600 grand.
Well, that's the bottom line, Jimmy, seriously. Celtic's in the Champions League. They're expected to win every competition they play in, and Gordon hasn't got anywhere near the money to spend that Tottenham have.
We'll have more on Celtic, remember, because they're in action again on Sunday night against the hosts Feyenoord here.